Bum, bada, bum, bada, bum, bada, bum. Anybody here? Is there anybody out there? Before we start, just checking the audio quality is good, um, because we have been experiencing some crap audio. That seems better. Looks like the health on this is okay. I blame April's phone. Okay, great. Yeah, well, my wife's phone, I don't know why it just eats the internet like no tomorrow. So any audio issues, please let me know because I'm just switching it off. Otherwise, I've been listening to myself, my own headphones. But this audio is about expats. Why so bitter? Um, it's something I've noticed over a period of time while I was in the Philippines. The first time I seen it was a few guys that had basically they loved the Philippines, and then 6 months later they hated it because what happened is they arrived in honeymoon mode and holiday mode. They're like, "This is great! Look at all the traffic! Look at all the dust and beautiful woman! Blah blah blah." And then 6 months later, there was the fiestas, the karaoke night every Sunday, the motorbikes that start up outside the house every day, the unreliable internet, the long list of small stuff that become an issue. Now, if you're a long-term expat, there's different ways of dealing with it. In my sense, I simply say go away. I go out of the Philippines when I'm there full time for Fiesta. I love visiting other barangays and stuff on Fiesta, but I do not want it in my doorstep. I've had it before where we've had three stereos in three directions. Uh, and it's like your like eyeballs are rotating around like a cartoon because everything's on level 11 playing completely different music. uh, Tim Rogers, no idea how to survive there or have a backup plan. um, you've been to my neighborhood, so a lot of the time we sort out back out plans. I mean, Mark's there at the moment and we're getting him on track at the moment so he's sustainable himself. But there is always a way to survive in the Philippines. Always. A lot of the time is getting used to thinking out of the box. Um, but back on track with the expats. Yeah, the first ones give up within the first year. I have to say about 90% of the expats I know since 2007, 2008 don't live in the Philippines anymore. Some of them have had relationships change in the sense that they were going there to retire or they were going there just for the experience, had a wife, had a kid, and then so hang on a minute, we need to think long term here. And some of that changes the perspective of what's available in the Philippines because you sit there going, what if I die tomorrow? I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but in an environment with so much risk right in front of you, getting run over and stuff, and you see it on a regular basis, um, you should, I say should, contemplate what futures your kids have if you have kids. Um, and that's why we're in Spain. At the end of the day, that's why I contemplate. At the end of the day, what happens if I die? I couldn't leave my kids just with the Philippines opportunities there. So coming to Europe, it gives them a new doorstep. It gives them a new opportunity. If we want to go back to the Philippines, that's fine. That's up to them. But for me to be able to rest in my grave, at least I've given the best opportunities to them. Um, but I've seen expats complain about that side, and then I've seen expats complain about stuff since the day they arrived. Um, I do not understand why you would move to a country with no idea what the country runs like. Tim Rogers, more chance of getting one over than being mugged. Yeah, you're right there. Um, but some of these guys just complain, and you're there, like, doesn't matter where you go, they're complaining about music's too loud, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I think some of these people have been sold on the postcard. You know, they you can imagine somebody being in the same office for the last 25 years, got that postcard, little sandy white beach, palm trees, got my hammock here. I'm drinking out of a coconut, some alcohol drink, and that's my life in my retirement. I'm gonna have that nipper hat. There's no connection. Nipper hat equals ants eating you in the middle of the night, mosquitoes, getting sweaty, or any of that stuff. It's just like that looks fantastic in the postcard. Now I have to admit, I have no problem with basic living. I have no issue with it whatsoever. But you can get issues with it um, if you do it long term. You know, because what happens is you think, yeah, it's a novelty, but later on you start to think, I'm tired of this. I don't want to be bitten by mosquitoes. There you go. 2006 Crusader, 2006 postcarded, sex, drugs, and R&R. Yeah, there you go. I'm Clark Airport. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of guys orientated around the good years relating to the R&R from Korea, and I'm not sure, was it the Vietnam War as well? But a lot of people got R&R in the Philippines coming from conflict, and those good years is the things they remember. So this is sometimes a lot of the guys go back historically to a time they were happy with. Um, and they remember the big smiling faces in the Philippines, and they return to that. I've got no issue with that in some sense, in the fact that if you're happy then, uh, rock and roll, yeah. It's similar, the old R&R from military, but yeah, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, it's similar. It's around the same era. So yeah, 2000 Crusader, 2006. Yeah, a lot of the guys have had historical uh, remembrance of the Philippines. They were there in younger years, so they return there in the retirement after divorces, death of a partner, bad history, because they know in the Philippines it's less complex. It was a happy time. Because let's face it, if you're working overseas and you're getting a Western salary in another country, it's good money. Yeah, I will tell. I have sex. uh, yeah, I hope that's with women. We'll get onto that debate later. uh, the but the thing is, a lot of guys are going back to their old history, but they forget the world has changed. But let's remember, they don't want. They're looking at this as some sort of recovery. If you're coming out of a bad divorce and going to the Philippines, you're like, I know I can get a place there cheap. I know I can live there cheap. I know I can find a good partner. You know, I'm not going about ages or stuff. I'm talking about a lot of the historical traditional marriages can still exist in the Philippines. Um, Tim Rogers, any other great insights? Insights into any? What do you want to insight into? Or you talk the real deal? But the whole point here is a lot of the guys have a different vision before they arrive, and this is why some people become unstuck and become bitter because they were hoping for the paradise dream, and then it doesn't happen. Things go wrong. Things don't happen the way they expected. Um, Tim Rogers, Matt, I was real. It was. Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, 2006 Crusade 2006 brought up Real Deal, no drugs, scared of Duterte. You know, they're pushing through the death penalty at the moment in the Philippines. That's actually been approved in Senate in the last week. I think that will, the dynamics of the Philippines is changing. My personal viewpoint is it doesn't really bother me. I spent time in the Middle East. I spent time in countries that a lot of people don't go to. And if you say, "Oh, you've been there," they go, "You're crazy." But at the end of the day, a lot of these countries are fine as long as you're not breaching the law or anything else. There's no problems. Tim Rogers, you're not saying the BBC document. It says Duterte is best thing since sliced bread. I would say the BBC must be looking for some politics and some input. The BBC is very involved government-wise. I mean, at the end of the day, it's subsidized by state, and whether that comes out of our what they call the TV license or the fact that we are forced to pay it, is that it doesn't make any difference. It's political at the end of the day. So I would say we're stuck with that one. Does anybody want to come on the live chat? You're welcome to come on if you want. I don't. In all honesty, Tim, Tim says, have I seen this stuff relating to the BBC? The BBC has been very different to me in the sense it seems to its dynamics changed over the. I think since the Blair years, it's not as middle of the road as it used to be. It's always been political, but it seems to have got worse over time. Tim Rogers, I'm not that brave. How does that work? I need to find the link. Does anybody know where to find the link in the chat? And I'll send a link for anybody who wants to come on the live chat. Basically, you come through the Google Hangouts and you can come on live. Now, I need to find the links so we can chat. Let me see. Influence settings, maybe. Maybe Real Deal can tell me where it is. Real Deal, where's the link? Maybe you can come on the link if you're. I got the influence settings, cards. I can't find the link. Share the link. Yeah, so over the time, I mean, the other thing I've noticed in the Philippines relating to getting back on topic until somebody can find the link, expats, why so big? Somebody was also posting today about the fact copy and paste Google, then copy and paste Google Plus. Okay, so is that on the top link? Let's try and get Real Deal on here. This is either gonna fall flat on my face or not. Chat. It's group chat. Screen share. This is so exciting when I'm looking at things on the screen. Expat. I found it. Funny thing is, it was me that told you Real Deal, and I forgot it. I'm so terrible at it. Real Deal. How funny is that? It's me that told you ages ago, and I forgot what I did. So, yeah, there you go. Meanwhile, sing a song. I apologize for that. But yeah, I've just sent a link to Real Deal. But if anybody else wants to come on, if you're on Google Chat, just send us your link, and then we'll get you on. Here we go. Real Deal's just arrived.
Hold on, I've got to
You got
turn my camera off.
Yeah, put some clothes on.
I'm naked. Yeah, well, you know when you go invite, if you go down a little bit in the middle of the screen there, it's got another link in the middle of the screen. You copy and you paste that into the chat.
Yeah, I know. I showed you it originally, and then I was like, where was it? I hadn't done it for a while. Yeah, so what do you think about, because I've seen so many expats get so bitter over a short period of time in the Philippines. But I do wonder why they're there. Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I think shit's just happened to them and they just can't get over it like a normal person. You know, shit happens to you wherever you are.
Yeah, but you don't dwell on it.
No, you get over it pretty quick, you know. Someone rips you off or someone does something to you, well, take it as a lesson and move on. You know?
Yeah,
And I just think they're frustrated with some of them I've noticed that I've met are frustrated with how slow things go. But you know what? In retirement, you want things to slow down. You know what I mean? Most of them. Why would you want things to speed up? You know, they're in a shopping centre. It takes too long for this, or they can't get their prescription for something like that. I've been around a few older expats, and they're the usual things they whinge about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
But
it's
if they hate it so much, they can just fuck back off to their own country if they like. The less, the better.
but yeah, I do find it a bit strange because I can understand like some people have in this past, the postcard version of it, and then they arrive and suddenly realize it's like, I want to live in a remote island and I want to live like this, and then it's like, hang on, the
Well, I
nearest
think it
hospital
wears
is
off.
2 days away.
The novelty wears like it's for me when I first went there, and the second time I went there, well, the second time was 8 months, 7 months. That excitement and all everything that goes on wears off for about 2 months. You know what I mean? Then you start getting into reality of what it's really like. The holiday fever's gone, you know, and you start seeing what's really happening around you because now you're living there. So when people go on a holiday for a short holiday, they don't get to see that. So once they move there, they eventually get to see that after a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not saying it's bad. It's just that the holiday fever's worn off, and now you're in living mode, you know, long term,
Yeah, so
which is different.
so what you're saying is people need to be more realistic about the stuff we say, and then they go, "Oh, it's a load of bullshit." What they should actually be saying is, "Okay, I'll take that as a no," you know, because I know yourself and myself, we do stuff, and whether it's good or bad, we just go, "That's what happened," you know. We don't sit there and sugarcoat it. We just go, "Life is what it is." And I think more people need to listen to that, because it's not always great. At the end of the day, you get kicked in the balls every now and again. You need to sit there and go, okay, that hurt. I'll learn from that, Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Tim Rogers here. He's got a point. They sit in the bars drinking all day, beer and moaning about their love life and money. Well, there is a lot of them that do that. But, you know, if I go to a bar to have a drink, it's usually that I want to run into another expat or speak with someone that's from a Western country, because sometimes it's hard to have a conversation with a Filipino. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's sort of, how do you explain it, Matt? You know what I mean? When you want to sort of talk to a person from a Western country, someone that Australian or American or an Englishman, because you can actually
Relate. You
have
can
a
relate to it.
conversation. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can relate. Well, with these guys, there is a lot in there that just whinging and bitching and all the rest of it. But there is guys that are just cruising through, or they're there long term. They're actually good guys you can have a talk with and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, you do get your whinges, and you know what? I found most of the fucking whinges, the expats, they hang out at McDonald's in the fucking morning, mate. Their usual spot, they all gather around there, and they hit their little meal and they sit there and they just bitch. Because I went along with a couple of them when I was around Wendell in Davao, and that's all these guys did. Like they made it a thing. Like every morning they were there, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, getting their coffee, getting their breakfast, and they'd just whinge for
Yeah.
hours. So at
Do
the
you
end, I
know,
couldn't go to it anymore.
but I think that with them, it's very likely they've got problems in their relationships because it's like ignoring the problem. It's I've seen it with the guys that like they get in relationships with young women, and you're thinking that woman has no depth to her. I'm not, no offense to the woman. It's the fact that she's lived in a village or whatever her entire life. The only thing she's watched is like Wow Wow Wee and things like that. She's got like high school education or stuff, and you're just like, what do you people do? When you go home, you don't sit there and go, let's talk about politics for the day. There's no depth to the conversation. There's nothing there. You might as well have a cardboard cutout, because there's no life there. You see what I mean? And I think that's where some of them get the bitterness from. Is the fact is they've got there and it's like, I've got a beautiful woman, blah blah blah, and they suddenly realize, but she doesn't know anything. Everything she wants to talk about, I'm not interested in. She's not interested in what I know about. There's nothing going on. It's
I think of these guys too as well. They need a hobby or something to entertainment, or like fair enough. When I'm there, I do my obviously business, bricks and mortar business, and then there's the online stuff, YouTube, and a bit of affiliate marketing. I'm always keeping myself busy. And if I feel like having a drink, I go to the bar and have a drink and, meet some new people and stuff. But I find these guys that are doing this whinging and bitching, they're not keeping themselves busy, even though they're retired, but you still can have some sort of hobby to something to do every day, you know what I mean? Instead of going to McDonald's and having a whinge,
yeah, you got to keep yourself occupied.
Maybe start a little business or start a YouTube channel or do something online to keep yourself occupied instead of just sitting there, because it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're just going to sit there, well, you're going to rot away and your brain's not going to be going and you're physically not doing anything. So it's not good for your health anywhere.
No, I
Like I
agree.
say, most retirees, there's guys that work their whole life and they love their work and stuff, and then they come to retirement age, and because they're not working and stuff, their health deteriorates, and their brain isn't even quick as they used to be, and they just start losing it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they're
they're
so used to
not.
doing something all the time.
But they just sit there. They just sit there. They find the bottom of the Red Horse bottle, and that's where they stay. It's I I had scenarios where I didn't realize some people were alcoholics, because I didn't see them, um, because when they come to my house, it's been early morning. So when they've gone home, I didn't realize they drink. so for when they get to my place, they're fine because I don't realize they've got up in the morning, come to my place, then they go to their place, and then there's like, let's get some beer going, and it's like, whoa, and I've had it before where I said to people, well, go to Bo's Coffee for coffee, because even at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're thinking, but I need a beer. And it's like, no, you don't, because it doesn't help. You've got to keep occupied, you've got to keep busy. Even if it's like just going around to play chess or doing something, you really do have to keep busy. And I think you're right. You got people vegetate. They get preoccupied with stuff that annoys them because they're not filling the day with stuff that they enjoy. I think they really do need to find something that engages them in a positive way.
Even a little business or something like that to keep them
Yeah, even
occupied.
if it's not profitable, it's not about the profit. It's about keeping
Yeah,
sane.
just a little business that's going to generate, enough to pay your electricity bill and half your rent or something. You know what I mean? Just something simple. Like. Yeah, because I've always got to be doing something. I can't. But fair enough. Don't get me wrong. I love to drink, and I drink every day.
Yeah,
Well, not
but
every
it's not
day,
on
but
your
most days.
cornflakes.
But yeah, I don't wake up in the morning and go straight to the bar and start drinking. Even if I'm in the Philippines, or it won't start till very late in the evening. 6, 7 o'clock, and it's only for a couple of hours and stuff like that. But I'm doing something during the day. I got to get everything done first before I start to have a drink. So it's sort of like a reward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
got all this done
Well,
today. Now I'm going to have a beer and relax.
I do that on a
But going to
Friday.
the bars every day is not good for you. I'd rather just
No.
crack a couple of beers at home, but I will go to the bar every now and then. But I'm not talking about titty bars. I'll just go down to a normal social bar where there's actually, there's not girls walking around in bikinis. There's nice girls in there, but they work there, and it's just normal people there having a drink. It's not like a fucking whorehouse bar, you know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, it's normal. You go into a normal bar. It's like
Yeah.
like if it's in Australia, UK, you say disco, people think you're going out dancing. In the Philippines, it's like prostitutes. Like what? There's no connection between the two.
Mm.
It's you just like it's a disco bar. Oh, okay, it's one of those. But no, it's not one of those bars. It is like going out. We drink, we dance, we go home. It's not. There's no, in the UK, I don't even do that in the UK anymore. Just going out for partying, because I'm getting a bit older now. But it never really involved in the last decade, women chasing, because I've just sort of grown out of that. Yeah, I've always had women as a partner since I left
Well,
school.
some of these guys too, as well, Matt. Older guys and younger guys as well. But the older guys that go hang out the titty bars all day, or the go-go bars, or whatever you want to call them, they're not exactly meeting, and they're bitter about women. They're not exactly putting themselves in an environment where they are going to meet good women.
No,
You
no,
know what I mean?
yeah, this
Go to
is
the fucking library. You go to the library or something. You're not gonna, and it's the same in this country. You're not gonna find a good girl at the nightclub or in a bar.
oh yeah,
You're
you
just
drive.
not. So the girls they're exposing himself to and
Yeah,
getting
right.
ripped off by, or hurt by, or cheated on, or rest of it is a working prostitute.
Yeah,
Try a different method.
yeah, you won't meet your wife curb crawling. It's like it just
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
happen. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. But the problem is, I think in the Philippines, some people see it as more socially acceptable, but at the same time, they don't seem to see that the dynamics exactly the same. These girls are doing it for money. It's not like, oh, it's more acceptable here, so these girls must be saints or something. No, they're exactly the same as you would be anywhere on the planet. They're doing it for
and
their
it's
money.
it's expensive hanging out in the bars all day. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a shitload cheaper in the Philippines, but you got to remember, if you're living in the Philippines, you got to start thinking pesos, not dollars. You go, oh, this beer's cheap, but I could buy 50 pesos, 40 pesos, I think it's 37 pesos for a can of San Miguel Light at the Save Mall supermarket, SM,
Yeah, but
right?
you've
And
also
if
got to
I
bear
buy
in
it in the
mind.
bar, I'm paying 80 pesos for it, you know what I mean?
But the other thing is you're drinking more in the Philippines. More people drink more because it's cheap, and that's one of the problems they get is they get into the whole, oh, it's cheap, so I can drink 10 beers a day sort of scenario because they can afford it, and rather than going, okay, it's cheap, but I shouldn't really be drinking that much on a daily basis. I should be doing something else.
Well, apparently I've heard mostly in Angeles City and stuff like that, of other vloggers and that, they've reckon there's guys that they're there when the bar's open at 10 o'clock and they'll drink there all day,
I've
every
seen it.
day.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's like,
I've
fuck.
I've been to pool parties where
Because in Davao, they don't open till a lot later, you see.
no, no,
Like they don't open till about 6, 7 at night before the bars will actually open in Davao. They're not open at like 10 in the morning and stuff like that. But I understand Evangeles and all that. It's like, it's just going 24/7. So the
yeah,
bars open up early.
but I've been to pool parties where the expats meet up and they're drinking from like 9:30 because they bring their own alcohol. So you're sitting there thinking I'm going to go for a swim and all this, and it's like already you're getting shots of Jack Daniels and stuff, and thinking, hang on, I'm not going to do this. I'll drown. It's like, I'm not here for this. I know I'm either going to pass out and be turned to a lobster in the sunlight, or I'll drown in the water. He's like, I'll have a drink about 2 o'clock. You know, it's got to be at least 2 o'clock for me. Otherwise, I really party and I go crazy. So I don't. I try to avoid alcohol. It's
Yeah,
it's
a business is probably a good idea. You don't have to make a million, you know what I mean? That'll keep you occupied because all my friends in Davao, expats have got businesses. They're busy. They're up in the morning. They go and do. They're not, in a way, they're not. When you're doing it in the Philippines, I'm not looking at it as I'm working. You're just there supervising everything, making sure everything's going all right. You're not actually out there with a shovel digging up the ground or anything like that, you know what I mean? Doing some hard labour. You're just going
you
there
got
every
other people
morning,
doing it.
hanging around, making sure everything's going all right. It's keeping you occupied, getting the money at the end of the day and going home, you know?
Yeah,
So that's a
yeah.
great way, I think, is to keep yourself occupied because it'll keep you occupied, believe me. It
Yeah.
won't be a
Well,
dull moment.
no, that's it. I mean, it's the thing is, it's like we were talking about the fridge funny thing earlier, where the guy, somebody had mentioned, "Oh, Matt, you got a fridge? How amazing!" on one of my things. They didn't understand that the fridge was the last piece of the puzzle on an apartment. Now, that now means that income is an extra 6,000 pesos a month because it's the last piece on another apartment. So our income just on the apartments now is 24,000 a month. Um, and
Hmm.
then we have other incomes, and they like you're saying, a small business. But I also see Tim is asking, what about what's a good business? I'd say property rentals is a very good one in the Philippines because there's always a demand for it. It's one place where the population continues to grow at a phenomenal rate.
Oh, yeah, and also, a little store or food or something like that. Food's always popular.
Saris are always good, and if you cook the food, even if it's just things like a pot noodle. Do you have pot noodles in Australia, where
I
it's
think so.
just like a hot noodle with a sauce of some kind? That sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff, and like 11 p.m. or something. Loads of people like from call center and stuff. That's what they love, that because it's cheap and easy. It's cheap and not expensive. Good little business. Niall Byrne, I might get your name wrong, said, I'm more upbeat since I've been to Spain. I would say if I feel upbeat or sound upbeat, it's because I know my family are more safe here in Spain, in the sense that medical cover is taken care of. If I died tomorrow, the family are taken care of. Because at the end of the day, my family are relying on me. So that's why it seems a bit more upbeat. I've got my family in a more social environment, in the sense that the government's more social orientated to look after its own people. Um, I think Duterte is trying to do that, but it will take time for the country to change. It's not an easy feat. Um, He also mentioned, and Neil also mentioned, I found Americans quite shallow in the Philippines. What do you say about that, Real Deal? Yay.
Well, a lot of foreigners are shallow, not just Americans. Like sometimes 60% of them, if you walk past them in a shopping centre and say hello, they won't even acknowledge you. It's quite weird actually. So I gave up in the end, actually saying
Yeah,
hello.
I do that because I know you, Jay.
Yeah, so it's just
That's
strange.
don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Shh, shh. Walk
Yeah,
past.
maybe they'll call that's that guy from Real Deal. Don't talk to him. He'll expose us. I don't know
Well,
what it is, but some of them just won't acknowledge and say hello. I don't know, maybe because they're fed up with the shit and stuff. I don't know.
it
Something's happened to
is.
them or
It
something
is.
from expat.
Do you know the funny thing is, we're sat in me and my wife were sat in McDonald's in Talisay, and this guy is 73 comes and sit next to us. I'm minding my own business. I'm like reading the newspaper, and April's gonna get somewhere, and then she comes back, and this guy sat opposite. You know, like when you look up, and he's like, "Who the hell is this at my table?" This guy's like, "Oh, so where did you get her from?" And it's like, "That's my wife." You know, what the hell? You know, it's like, "Oh, don't get married in the Philippines. Get married in Hong Kong so you can get divorced." And all that. It's like, and he's going to April. you want to see a magic trick? Do you want to see a magic trick? My wife's looking at him. He's like, what? This guy's an idiot, because
Mm.
my wife's very intelligent. She's a university graduate, but also she's won some national contests in science and also the old spelling bee. She's not she's pretty smart. She speaks 5 languages as well. But then you got this guy going, do you want to see a magic trick? And it's like, what the hell's this? So I can understand when somebody
Mm.
goes, hey, do you want to talk? You're like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to anybody. So it's
Well,
if you get that,
I was watching a video. It was yesterday, Johnny Warrior, where he
yeah.
actually got approached for the first time by an American expat asking for money, begging on the street.
Was it hobo?
So, nah, he was some other guy. He reckons he came out of this restaurant or something, and he's telling the story that he was well dressed, well groomed, wasn't drunk, not dirty, didn't look
Yeah.
like he, looked like a bum. And he's come up to him and said, "Oh, you used to play football or something back in the States, all that." And he's like, "No, you got the wrong guy." And then he goes, "Oh, by the way, man, can I get $5 off you or something like that?" You know what I mean? I've got to feed my kids. I've just had a heart surgery. And lifts up his shirt or something like that. And that's the first time he's been approached by him. But I said, "Fuck, there's plenty of them in the Philippines
They're
getting
making a
around doing that
living
shit."
from it. They're making a living from it, and that's the sad thing. And I know we flagged it up. Is the fact is, don't give them nothing. You don't owe them nothing, but they're parasitical. At the end of the day, if you cannot support yourself, I do not welcome you to the Philippines. Simple as that. At the end of the day, if you can't
Mm.
take care of yourself, I'm not here to look after you. Um, Philippines has enough problems without bums going there as well from other countries. You got a lot of intelligent people trying to get overseas, and then you got bums arriving trying to live off expats. It's like, go away, go
But yeah,
home.
that's their daily routine is going to the shopping malls and looking for unexpected expats that have just got off the plane, basically. Because if you've been there for a while, you're straight onto it.
Yeah,
Total
yeah. Well,
stranger just asks you for money. Like, I don't
but
care
if
if
you
you got the same skin color as me or anything, man. It's not I don't care what color you are. You don't know me and you're asking me for money. You
in
know.
Cebu, it's French baker. If you got a French baker, you'll there's at least 3 people operating there. You just sitting there minding your own business. A French baker is a bit of an awkward one because also women approach you for their services, but we actually go there for bread, which may seem a bit bizarre going to a baker's for bread. but you will get approached there from people wanting money and women offering services. I found it a bit strange, but I one of the good things, I have a friend that his wife used to work in a restaurant in Yalamao in Cebu. So if I sit at the cafe, the women will shoo other people approaching me. They will just tell them to go away, which is nice. Um,
It gets
but
annoying.
it is annoying, and because these are not people that are genuine. They're parasitical. They're living off this and just seeing it as an easy living. Let's be honest. If you're an expat making a living in the Philippines, you have a much harder life making money than going. You know what? My I lost my luggage. I lost my whatever. Can you give me 500 pesos so I can get a taxi to my hotel or whatever? And then the thing is, do that twice a day. Hey, that's sustainable. That's a nice little income for doing nothing. It's
$800 a month or something.
yeah. I just want to
And the
say,
unsuspected tourist, will go, "Oh, it's only fucking $12, $10,
yeah,
irritated."
exactly. I just want to give a shout out to Christopher Lane as well for joining us. I need to get Chris on at some point because Christopher Lane's joined me on a few chats, but hasn't been live. I'm not
I
sure.
think it's because his internet connection, he's got a problem with going live with
Yeah.
that, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure where I'm not sure. Most were probably bitter back in their home country before they just bring it along with them. That's not you, Chris. It's my glasses. They're fogged up. So I'd agree with that. Some of these guys are already bitter before they arrived in the Philippines. It's sad, but reality. You know, some of these guys just so bloody miserable. Um, you know, I, I I find myself like people hate me for being happy. You know, it's just funny, but it's like I mentioned this today about a troll guy that turned around and said, "My life's better than yours, mate. But I'm sitting there laughing and just thinking, why did you even have to say that? You know, it's just hysterical. You know, it's you know, it's like who cares? Uh,
They're weird.
yeah. 2006, Crusader 2006. Matt, you care about your family. Most guys in the field do not care about their wife, girlfriends. They care about the sex and alcohol. I've been in Thailand and saw the same thing. I would agree. There's so many people, and that's why it gets a lot of bitterness because some people just do not like it. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm a traditionalist in the sense that I value my family, I value my wife, I value my kids. Um, I'm not religious. I have zero religion. It's not the fact that I agree or disagree with any religion. It's simply that until somebody turns around and turns up as a god, I will not accept anybody. So I'm not disputing one or the other. It's quite simply I just see this like getting married. April's my first wife and will be my last wife. It's a contract for life. You know, as any contract for me, you know, there is no divorce, there's no separation. My commitment to my wife is 110%. Simple as that. And I think if more people were that way inclined, I do think people would be happier instead of getting into arguing with each other. You find a way through all the problems. That's my own view, but I'm very happy, and I think that's why some people hate me. What do you think, Jay? Do you think some people hate me for being happy?
Yeah, some people do. I think they just don't like it because they've got a miserable life themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh excessively. I mean, I'm known for it being, you know, in the Philippines, I get people say, "I wish my husband was like your husband," and this sort of stuff because it's, you know, like even when there's a problem, you know, like we've had some crap builders. I just say to my wife, "I'm going for a beer," which means I'm going to the bar, sack them before I get back because it's like I've just looked at it. I'm not gonna like throw spanners or something at the guys' heads. It's simply like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to redo this again. But you know what? I'm going for a beer. Chill out. Don't worry about it. And when it comes back, I deal with it. I think that's the thing. A lot of the guys they get too wrapped up in disputes that often don't matter. Um, it's just small stuff, like you're saying. You know, some people don't adapt, and like Chris Lane was saying, they have these problems before they arrive in the Philippines. You know, if you're on marriage 4, you would think, you know what, maybe it might be me. Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
but you know, it's Granddad Anne. I just want to say hi because I've seen you on there, and Jamie Fernandez. They're live on the chat. Jamie Fernandez, how is La Mata for people that don't have a car or just can't drive? Can't get a driver's license. It's all right. We've got loads of psychopaths, not psychopaths as in crazy, but psychopaths. You can get on your bike and ride all the way up to Torreveja or that up to Guatemala. Yeah, you can get on the bike. You don't need a car. Grandadadan, if you die, your wife will have a monthly pay just for being a widow. Isn't it amusing? Hey, you haven't dealt with the UK government, have you? My wife has a payout because I secure payouts for my wife and my family. That's to say, you see, the thing for me, my wealth is a family. I don't care about personal wealth. as my last ex learned, I left with a bag and I rebuilt my wealth in no time whatsoever. Um, the, the the saying goes is the money is me, and it's not me boasting, but the reality is I know my wife's taken care of, my kids are taken care of, and financially going forward, I will develop everything for everybody. So yeah, I mean I'm the golden goose. But at the same time, that's why sometimes people go, "Oh man, you haven't got this, you haven't got that." You know what? I'm securing the future for the entire family, not just myself. Patrick Glenn, good evening from Washington, D.C. How's it going there? Christopher Doha, we're going to be in the same way no matter what country you're in. I think it depends how you protect yourself against the problems. Myself, if you spread your wealth, I think you're looked after. Same in the UK, they've just increased the payment for self-employment for national insurance. If you have self-employment money or offshore money, like many politicians do, you're not paying tax anyway. Tim Rogers, I hate you, Matt. Haha. Wait till I see you next night. Patrick Glenn's got one for you. Can you get Jay to say, "Get your tongue out of my ass, Peter"? Only dogs do that.
I think I remember saying that once. I'll do it for him, eh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Get your tongue out of my ass, Peter. Only dogs do that. You have all the characteristics of a dog, except loyalty.
Or as Peter says it, "Get your tongue out my ass. You ain't paying extra."
Well, his channel is in shambles at the moment. It's been shut down or something. He's uploading to a new channel.
Yeah, I've seen.
What's
You
happening
know
there?
the fun. Yeah, do you know what disappointed me on that is I it's not that I ignore him. I just find him irrelevant. You know, it's not. I just find him completely irrelevant on the Philippine scene. Because he sits there. It's like like rap music where somebody's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," and you're just thinking, you know what? I'm just going to change the channel. I'm not going to listen to you. I find him like
Well,
that.
he has nothing of value.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. You took the words from my mouth.
He doesn't like that. But he's uploading to a new channel. He's uploading about, I don't know, 5, 6 videos a day. It's all his old stuff. So I think it's gone a while now with not having his channel up. So it doesn't look like it's coming back, because YouTube would have had things fixed by now and had the channel up if there was a problem.
2 days. 2 days.
So I
I've
think it's
I've already
he's
had this
it's probably
experience.
did get shut down.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
probably been
being
shut
shut
down.
down because it needed shut down, not because somebody hacked it.
Mm.
Let's see. If somebody hacked my account, I would log in with my, because obviously you can link this with your phone number and stuff for double security, and then you turn around, log in, change your password, then re-upload the videos or set it. Oh, I'd be reactivated in like 24, 48 hours. I can smell something. Can you smell it, Jay? Can
Mm.
you smell? Yeah, it's not truth. It's bull. It's bull something. I don't think. I think he's had his channel banned the same way he's tried to ban other people's channels.
And maybe he just doesn't want to say it.
Of course he don't want it. No, no, it's not. He doesn't want to say it. Is he refuses to say it because it's an acceptance that his channel was unacceptable. Um, and it, and as we know with these trolls, because we've got a few of them hovering around at the moment, the last thing they want to do is turn around and say, you know what, you were right and I was wrong. They don't do that. That's not on their list anywhere. You know, it's got, you know what, Jay, you were right, I was wrong. You know, they don't do that. There's always another reason. It's playground politics.
Well, if Peter's going to upload all these videos again, he says about 1,400. It'll take him months.
He must have got everybody to shut.
Months.
He must have shut everything off in that 200 pesos apartment he's in. Then the hotel room, the whole block's out because he needs the internet.
It's going to take him a long time. That's why if you start a channel, back up all your stuff. I back up all my stuff, but I'd hate to have to go through and upload everything all again. It'd really piss me off.
Do you know how to do the Google takeaway?
No.
For the Google takeaway allows you to back up all your videos. I'll do another video on that after this one. I should be going to bed, but I will do it after this just to show people to download all their videos just to back it up. Do you know how much space my videos on just this channel takes up on my hard drive now? All the crap I say?
Fair bit.
300 gigabytes of crap. Well, information, but 300 gigabytes of space. Now, old Peter V, or the hobo, has about the same amount of videos as I have on this. So how long is that going to take him to upload the same amount?
It'd take him months.
Yeah,
like I said, it is a pain in the ass, but I haven't had it done. But I've only got 300 videos. Even that'll be a fuck around trying to get all those up again.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you know, when I had that issue where some idiot actually tried to copyright claim against my videos and stuff, my channel was off for like 3 days. You're just thinking, you know, myself, I'm just like, can I be bothered? You know, I do this for free. You know, I do this to like spread information. Then you get the odd idiot just trying to create an issue, and you're just like, can I be bothered? You know, and but lucky enough, you know, YouTube seeing the fact that it was a minor issue, but I do wonder sometimes, you know, when doing it, is it worth the hassle? And it's okay if you get a lot of support from the channels and stuff. You know, people are like subscribing, because I need that 10,000 subscribers so I can have the live videos. Because then you can get me wandering around. Too. Yeah, well, you're catching up. You're catching up.
Well, that's a good option to have, because when you're out and about, you can just pull your phone out and go live. That's huge.
Yeah, said the actress to the priest.
Yeah. So yeah, the feature is a good feature to have, and yeah, I think they're going to release it later on where everyone can use it.
Yeah,
like 10,000 subscribers. I think it's the beta model coming out at the moment just to test it and stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing is, I'm looking to get another Predator drone. Well, not a Predator. I keep saying Predator. It's not a Predator. It's begins with P, but it's another one of the. It's one of those white drones with the red stripes on it. I'm looking to get a new one of those. It'd be nice to get some live feed on that as well. That'd be pretty cool. You know, at a concert or something. Before I'm swiftly arrested by the police for having an unlicensed drone in the area.
Yeah, I want to get one too for the Philippines.
Yeah, it worked. Well, I've got a drone here. If I got the drone 4, you can have this other one. I mean, I've got the original one, but there's another expat, but he's an expat in Spain. He's got versions 3 and 4, and they look amazing. So I'm going to buy another drone this year because the footage coming off them is fantastic. So you can have my old drone. The sad thing is, it cost me over $1,000. So and it's hardly been used. But
I'll be chasing people down the street with it and everything.
Knocking people off the motorbikes on the causing pile-ups on the main road.
somehow connect a bloody super soaker to it, go into bars, shoot people and stuff.
Yeah, I bet you. I bet you could even catch people wearing cross-dressing clothes in that. You know.
Oh yeah, I do a lot with it. I know someone that we could chase with that.
Yeah, it's that's another story
The old,
for.
I won't mention his name. We'll call him the JLB. We'll call him. The strange fuck he is. I think he's in the Philippines now because he's not doing his trolling. He's occupied chasing ladyboys or something,
That
I think.
I agree. I think he goes quiet while he's there. He doesn't want to. He seems to do it when he's home, and like when you're in the Philippines and somebody is really bitter that you're there, not there. Like if you're almost like going to like if you were siblings and the other sibling got invited to the party and you're not invited, you're like, why the am I not invited? I think that's what happens. Going home, he has that bitterness that he's not there full time. But I do question the whole frock thing. I do think that the eyebrows are plucked. I do think that the bald head may be shaved because it makes it ideal for a wig without too much
So it
sweat.
sticks on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
sticks sweat on there. Bit of blue
I
tack.
yeah, I do. Yeah, blue tack would be fantastic. But a grip fill.
Mm. He's definitely up to no good.
Yeah. Jamie Fernandez mentioned about the drone laws in Spain, so you got to be careful you don't get fined. I agree. I think you got to be very careful, especially anywhere near any airports or low-flying aircraft. Um, may not be an issue because in Spain, a lot of things are like mañana, mañana until something goes wrong, then it's a big problem.
Mm.
Uh, Patrick Glenn says, my wife and I watch your video and I love it. It's so funny. Which video is that?
He's talking about the one um, when I'm giving Peter shit.
Well,
One of those ones.
hang on. Was Peter giving? Is this to do with the hobo being caught in the motel with the gay guy? But he said he robbed him.
No, no,
Sorry.
no. It's where he's accusing me of that website. Remember that website getting around called Men's Guide to Asia or something? Peter was, I got him. It's you. This is your site. It's about where to get the best fucks, where to get the best blowjobs from, he reckons. And I just said, well, who wouldn't want to know where to get the best blowjobs from?
Yeah,
That's a
but
fucking good site.
how would you know though? How would you know? At the end of the day, it's. I'm not being funny. This is what it frustrates me about American TV when they do the best food in the world in all states, and it's like, whoa, hang on, it's all states. It's not the world. It's like you've already cut it off just to the U.S. anyway. But so yeah,
Hmm.
you can't really have the best blowjobs in all the world in one physical location. I think that you have to be a bit, you have to be a concierge. You got to be a connoisseur and experience the world to
And
fully.
at the end of the day, if I knew about it and knew where it was, I'll let everyone know about it. I think it's great information that should be out there for people, you know what I mean?
Well,
There's a lot of
it just
guys out there would want to know where to get the best blowjobs from, and if there's a place where that's where it is, well, people
I
need to
could
know
tell you a
about that.
couple of I could tell you a couple of sailor stories. There's, well, these are real stories from real sailors. The first one is there's a guy with I don't know what they call it. There's a big fleet with the U.S. I don't know what they call it, but they used to go to, let's just call it Asia to make it broad. And a friend of mine was with the British fleet, and one of the things they used to do is get the U.S. guys drunk, and then what they would do is get the U.S. guys to get them drunk, and then they'd like tattoo them with a bulldog or something like that. And what happened to this guy that I worked with? they tattooed him when he was drunk with Daffy Duck on one arm and Mickey Mouse on the other. But they used to go to a barber's where they were. That while you're cutting your hair, the women would be under the old gown, where you get it, stop you getting the cuttings on your shirt, giving you one of the best masculine feelings, I suppose.
Getting tattoos while drunk is not a good idea.
Yeah, but this is what Gary's telling me about the stuff, and he's like, because they used to mix with the Americans and the British, the two different naval, they do operations together, and they used to do that stuff. And there's a certain barbers, I'm not going to advertise it, but they go there not because of the haircut, but for
they get a good head job.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a special. Yeah, it's a specialist haircut. I think that's.
Both heads get a trim, not the skin off the top.
That's yeah. Just take it straight off the top. That's it. Yeah. And the size. Do the size. The top and the side.
It's crazy.
But yeah, so some of the stuff I know with the guys I know. Yeah. It's not stuff I shouldn't be. It's not stuff I should be sharing. Let's put it that way. 2006 Crusader 2006 says, so any gay bars will do. Where was that? Hang on, I missed something somewhere.
I think he's talking about the best blowjobs.
Okay. Now that just brought up a subject relating to Greece and Cyprus, because the British do their maneuvers off there with beach landings, and a friend of mine was a new recruit, so he's there as a new recruit. He's 18, just like one of the guys, and obviously he's like, yeah, we're going out, did the beach landings out in the town, and he picked this woman up, and they hit it off, got a bit of facial contact, and he's thinking this is it, like I'm in here, and then he slips his hand just under the skirt, and he's like, I can't feel anything. I can't. No. He's like, hang on a minute, and then he's going further, and it's like hang on, there's nothing here, and so he's drunk at the time, so he's like, okay, and this guy is a guy, and he's like, so you do, I do, you do me, I do. It's like, no, you it's like, you do me, and that's it. So they do whatever, and then he gets back to the barracks the following morning, and they go, oh, how did you get on with such and such? He's like, oh yeah, she was really good. It's like, we all know that's a guy. Yeah. It's like,
God.
They all
How
do it
could you not know?
Yeah, it's just like they all do it to each other. It's just one of those naval things. It's just like it's like, oh, what the fuck. Everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard to work out, I tell you.
Yeah. And I'm not mocking anybody in naval. These are real naval stories, and I've never been with the Navy, so it doesn't apply to me. It's just people tell me these things. It's just very funny, the stuff people get up to. It because if you know the guy, he just sat there. If you can, because very hard to visualize here, but he's got his like hand, like even when he's telling me, he's like got his hand upside down. And his eyebrows are like raised as if he's trying to like look for gold or something, and it's just like there's nothing here. He's just like, we're sitting in a restaurant with him doing that. And I'm just like, what the hell? He's just like, nah, whatever.
Well, I've seen some expats walking around with lady boys. It's like they're on a first date and they don't really know it's a lady boy.
Well, doesn't the gargling tell them?
I don't know. They must be confused. Well, Matt, I've just got to jump off anyway. I'm going to go grab myself something to eat.
Yeah.
I'll chat to you later.
All right, mate. Catch you later. Does anybody else want to come on the live chat? Take it easy, Jay. 2006 Crusader 2000. You know how many guys that happened and happens to in Thailand? It's phenomenal. I remember watching a documentary about a British guy that opened well, I think he had about 6 or 12 bars in Thailand. And he was saying, like, he didn't realize the person he was with was a guy for like months. And then they saw, like, well, we've sort of hit it off anyway, so whatever. And it's just like, okay. So yeah, I would say it happens a lot, and I know a lot of the people out of the Philippines go there for operations. Um, there was a American guy I know. He's quite a wealthy American guy. He contacted me a while back because this person he said, "Oh, I haven't paid my rent in 2 months, and I need some money urgently, and all this sort of stuff." And then it's like, okay. And he sent some money. I think he sent about 8,000 pesos, and he says, "Matt, I don't think that there's something not right about this." So the first thing is like, okay, well, who is it? And I got the profile up on the Facebook profile up on my computer. And what happened is my sister-in-law Joey walked past, and she goes, "That's who's that gay?" And then April's like, "That's a gay." And it's like, yeah, you can see the outline of the Adam's apple. But Jovi, my sister-in-law, she can see a gay a mile off. She's just like, bang, that's a gay. It doesn't it doesn't matter. She's got gaydar. She can spot them like for whatever. She's instantly bang. That's a gay person. No problem. Um, but it ended up the guy ditching the person. But the interesting thing is this person that said they hadn't been out of the Philippines, hadn't been out of Manila, and then I found like 6 profiles. Um, they've been to they've been in Cebu, they've been to Thailand because they had their old operations done in Thailand, and the funny thing is when they were confronted about the stuff they were doing, they turn around and said, as if like, what am I doing? As if like, what's so wrong? Well, you're exploiting money for money. But they just couldn't see it. And I think that's an important thing in some of the stuff that goes on. Um, Sometimes in the Philippines, people just see it as normal. They don't even see abusing you is a problem. They don't even see that they're actually doing anything illegal, anything wrong, anything immoral. They just see it as, oh, it's okay. It's no problem. Like 2006 Crusader 2006 says, Adam's apple, hands and feet. Yeah, those are the things to check out. If you're not 100%, go for it. But as to say in the Philippines, if you're not 100%, step back. There's no rush. There's nothing that makes you have to commit to anything. You don't have to early on unless you let yourself be talked into it. Um, in the Philippines, there's a lot of women available. There's a lot of opportunities there. The main thing is finding the right person, working your way through the bad to find that thorn between the roses, or the roses between the thorns. I think a lot of expats find the thorns though, which is why they have a lot of the bitterness, because they arrive in the Philippines, day one, tick, met somebody on the internet, tick, I love them, they're the best thing ever has happened to me, tick, maybe marry them, tick, and then they suddenly realize that there's more than what they realize. Oh, she's already married. She's got 3 kids. Her parents rely on me. She just used me for money. I turn up at the airport and she's not even there. There's a long list. And when you get on that list, that's the bitter list. That's the list where people have been burned and thinking, I've been taken for an idiot. But rather than just turn around and say, you know what, I've been ridden as an idiot, and just go, you know what, F you, and move on, they get bitter. Because I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of good women in the Philippines. There's a lot of good people in the Philippines. There's a lot of people that would care more about you than you would about them. There's a lot of happy people in the Philippines. There's a lot of good people there. But you know what? Like anything, like oil and water, if you put them in the same glass, they separate. But you need to work your way down to the good people. If you're just going to think, oh, everything's going to be great day one, that's where you hit problems. And that's why some of these guys get bitter because they're just like, well, I just want to retire, peace of life, blah, blah. They just turn up as long as somebody's taking care of them, whatever. They don't mind at day one. At day two, they find the brother-in-law is wanting extra money for XYZ. Day three, need to pay for the medical bills of an extended member of family. Day four, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly they think, hang on a minute, I'm being taken advantage of. At day one, if this sort of stuff starts to look like it's not right, just step back. There's nothing that says that you need to get married. There's nothing that says you need to get in a relationship. There's nothing that says you got to take 1 week over this decision that can change your entire life. The reality is, it can take months, it can take years. There is no rush. If you're content with being alone and just having people around, hey ho, the Philippines is set up for that. There's always going to be people approaching you. In the same way, if you're set up in the Philippines and you want a relationship, find the right person. Don't take the first person because unless you're 100%, then you're likely to fall into something go wrong. 2006, Crusader 2006. Meet my parents. What? Last year I paid for your father's funeral and 3 years ago for your grandmother, and she seems to do well now. Yeah, that's there you go. That sort of stuff goes on where it's people go, somebody's sick, somebody's ill, blah blah blah, and it's an ongoing saga. Um, you need to cover your bases. Don't just assume that because you're laid back and don't want this headache that just throwing money at it will make the problem go away. It makes the problem bigger. Because if you're just going to go with it and not even like think, hang on, what did you spend that money on? Oh, well, we bought XYZ. As a friend found, when he went to pay for a funeral, um, they had two events. One was a funeral, and one was with medical bills. He went to pay for them, not to the uncles that wanted the money. He went to the people that were supposed to be the ones that needed paying, and they're going, it's already insured, it's already covered. There is no bills. And he had that multiple times. Now the bizarre thing with him is in their relationship, his wife was always upstairs. If I turned up at the house, knocked the door, she would go upstairs. She was never downstairs talking with us or anything else like that. She'd always just disappear upstairs, watch TV and things like that. Yet seemed to be so quick to ask for money. And these are the sort of things you have to watch for. And welcome to the Philippines. But I would say don't get bitter with it. Get realistic. Get switched on with it. Look at what's around you. At the end of the day, don't let things drag you down, but simply adapt to them, adapt to the environment. When my barber asked me, where's my present for his Christmas or whatever, I said, well, where's mine? And then he laughs it off because at the end of the day, that's the way it is. We're coming from a Western perspective into the Philippines. And if you don't adapt, what happens is you become frustrated, annoyed, disappointed, and in some cases, like some of the trolls, like the guys that troll me, one of them was a failed expat. He couldn't make it on the whole, so he's still bitter, even though he's now moved to France. Another one can't afford to move to the Philippines. And I have no idea about the third guy because although I know who he is, I do not know what his issue is. But that's the reality. I look at these guys and I'm thinking, you know what? The difference between me and you, we're happy. And that's what you want to be looking for. What makes you happy? If you can get that, don't worry about the rest. I'm going to cut this one off because it's been quite a long video and it's been great talking to everybody. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Have a great day and hope everything goes well for you. Thank you.